Have you ever felt like your life is just one big, messy room? You look around, and everything feels out of control, overwhelming, and you just don't know where to start. That's exactly where Tom was. He felt stuck, buried under a mountain of to-do lists, unfinished projects, and a general sense of chaos. He desperately wanted a change, a big, life-altering transformation. But the bigger he dreamed, the more paralyzed he became. Where do you even begin when everything needs fixing? One morning, staring at his unmade bed, an idea sparked. It wasn't a grand plan or a revolutionary strategy. It was simple, almost laughably so. He thought, what if I just make my bed? It took him less than 2 minutes. He smoothed the sheets, fluffed the pillows, and straightened the duvet. Stepping back, he looked at that one small, neat corner of his chaotic room. It was a tiny island of order in a sea of mess. And for the first time in a long time, he felt a flicker of accomplishment. It was small, but it was real. This single, simple act became his anchor. Every morning, without fail, he made his bed. It didn't solve all his problems overnight, of course not. But it was a promise he kept to himself. It was a small win to start the day. This daily victory began to subtly shift his mindset. He started to think, if I can do this, what's one more small thing I can do? The made bed made the rest of the messy room look even more out of place. So, one day, he decided to clear just one corner of his desk. He threw away old papers, organized a few pens, and wiped it clean. Another small island of order. The next week, feeling a bit more energized, Tom thought about his health. The idea of hitting the gym for an hour felt impossible, a huge commitment he knew he wouldn't stick with, so he applied his new philosophy. What's the smallest possible step? He decided on a 10-minute walk during his lunch break, just 10 minutes. He didn't need special clothes or a gym membership. He just put on his shoes and walked around the block. The fresh air felt good. His legs felt good. It wasn't a marathon, but it was movement, and just like making his bed, it was something he could actually do consistently. Soon, these tiny habits started to connect. Making his bed led to a tidier room. A tidier room led to a clearer mind. The 10-minute walks gave him a little boost of energy in the afternoon, making him slightly more productive at work. He wasn't suddenly a new person, but he was building momentum, one tiny block at a time. He was proving to himself that he was capable of change. He was the kind of person who could follow through. His evenings were usually spent scrolling endlessly on his phone, feeling drained and uninspired before bed. He wanted to read more, but the thought of finishing a whole book felt daunting. So, he made a new rule: read just one page before sleep, just one. Sometimes he'd get drawn in and read a whole chapter. Other times, it was literally just one page before his eyes grew heavy. But every night, he was planting a seed of knowledge and calm instead of distraction. As the weeks turned into months, Tom's life began to look noticeably different. His apartment was no longer a disaster zone. It wasn't perfect, but it was organized and comfortable. His daily walks had sometimes turned into longer jogs. He was feeling healthier and had more stamina. His one-page rule had led him to finish several books, a feat he hadn't accomplished in years. He was even sleeping better, feeling more rested and prepared for the day ahead. What started with making his bed had created a powerful ripple effect. This is a concept known as habit stacking. You anchor a new, small habit to an existing one. For Tom, his morning routine became wake up, make the bed, and then, while the coffee was brewing, he'd spend 5 minutes tidying one small area of the kitchen. His lunch break became eat lunch, then take a 10-minute walk. His evening routine became put his phone on the charger in another room, then read one page of a book. Each habit flowed into the next, creating a chain of positive actions. This process wasn't about willpower. Willpower is a finite resource. It runs out. Instead, Tom focused on making his desired habits so small and easy that they required almost no willpower at all. The key was consistency, not intensity. A 10-minute walk every single day is far more powerful than a 2-hour gym session once a month. Reading one page every night is more impactful than trying to read a book in one weekend and then burning out. A year after he first decided to make his bed, Tom was a different person. Not because of one dramatic event, but because of hundreds of tiny, seemingly insignificant decisions that he made every single day. His health had improved. He was more productive at work. His home was a place of peace, and most importantly, he had regained a sense of control over his life. He was no longer overwhelmed by the mess. He knew now that the secret to cleaning up a whole room or a whole life is to start with one small corner. So if you're feeling like Tom was, lost and overwhelmed, don't try to change everything at once. Pick one thing. One tiny, ridiculously small thing. Maybe it's making your bed. Maybe it's drinking one glass of water when you wake up. Maybe it's doing 2 push-ups. Make it so easy you can't say no. Do it every day until it becomes automatic. Then, and only then, add another tiny habit. You will be absolutely amazed at how these small, consistent actions can compound over time and completely transform your life. The journey of 1,000 miles truly begins with a single step. What will your first step be? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips on building a better life, one small habit at a time.